Welcome to this beautiful day. I want to do a quick exercise with you guys. Let's get present real quick. We're just going to take a few deep breaths. Just how many times a day do we stop like this? So go ahead and do it with me. I know it may seem a little silly, but all we're going to do is breathe through our nose. We're just going to let it come and exhale. Really, you don't even got to think about breathing. You could just let your body breathe. It's not going to breathe. So we'll just hang in here for a few moments. The thing is, like, I've noticed it, my body has, throughout the day, I don't really take full deep rests like that. Like, let your belly be free here. Let your face, if you notice in your eyes, think about like the circuitry, the muscles, just letting go. How wide can your eyes get? Right, let that shit go. Your face, your jaw. A lot of us get really tight in here. Your neck. We're breathing. Down into your belly. I've had trouble in the past when I take deep breaths. I think it's from all the years of working out doing chest, that I have this strain. Taking a full deep breath sort of pinches. It's left me recently. That dream about the snake leaving my body, that sort of was, I felt like this shift in my muscular hold. So with a loose belly, loose face, just breathing. And so this practice is super basic, and that's exactly what we're getting back to, is the basics this month. We've been fasting, we've been stretching. During stretching, yoga, one of the focuses is going to the breath. Being present through the movements of the stretch. Same thing with like Tai Chi, or these are all practices for seeking presence, getting present. So throughout the day, if you begin to do that, it changes everything. Things become known. They'll make themselves clear to you. You may be overthinking, how do I pick up girls? What do I do with my life? What is the right thing to say to a girl, this super hot girl that I see on the side of the street, and I don't know what to say to her? Well, stop thinking. What's the next move? What should I do when I get home from work? What should I eat? Stop thinking. Get back to the present. That right there will change your life. That right there shows you. I had this really cool thought today. It was an epiphany. When I catch my mind start to wander, and the simplest things, guys, will do this to you. They'll change your state. Someone can be walking across the road, you see a hat that says Trump on it, and immediately it's like your frame is busted. Something has worked its way into your head and now changed the thoughts. It's changed how you feel. If you're not used to this, if you're not really present, if you're not conscious, you won't notice the subtleties of your mood change. The mood will change throughout the day, and everything affects it, from the colors you see, the background, the noises, what shows up on your internet, your phone going off. It changes your energy level. There's different levels of energy. And so we've been talking about lately becoming unconscious and then becoming way too frantic, frenzy, this crazy energy. But what you can do is learn to breathe. Because as soon as you start breathing like that and you are aware of the breath, the present is there. And we miss so much. So much goes unseen because we're just not really there to the fullest. We don't know what to say, even though the words they're there, but we're thinking about outcome. We're worried. We're stressed the fuck out. And all you gotta do is get back to here. I have this pressure in my head that I was never really aware of. And it's from a lack of breathing fully. It's the weirdest thing. I've just become aware of this, guys, in the last 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. There's this pressure, there's this tension up here. Okay? And it's only when I get to the present, my face actually relaxes. My head and that pressure in my head dissolves. Okay, but it's like it's there if I'm thinking about something. I'm always thinking so deeply into things. I'm analytical, trying to get to the bottom, trying to figure things out. And so this technique, this practice, if you learn to live in this state, you don't even got to really do it anymore. It's going to take a long time. You practice. And here you are, man. Here you are. So like I was saying, I was having this really cool thought in my car, is that when you get to this place, life really isn't too bad for the most part. I mean, look at the beautiful scenery around me. Look at this library, right? My car, got clothes on, I got food, I'm fed, I'm not hungry, I have a job, I have friends, I have a gym. So really, I've got it made. But it still seems like the default setting in my mind is like I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to do things that make me better. I'm trying to always get somewhere, a place that is out of the suffering. And the thought that I had was like, what if like life isn't inherently just suffering? Like I know that book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. He's like, life is suffering. It's how you deal with that. It's the meaning and the purpose that you take on. But what if life, for the majority of us, yeah, there's some third world countries, kids are bloated stomachs, they're hungry, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of shit going on you never see, people getting raped, kidnapped, like murders. You don't see any of that. But your life now is pretty damn good. And so I think that we've been so programmed to think that everything's so bad. The news, the talk of the town, the gossip, what's going on around the city, the newspaper, whatever you expose. It's like we're always in this state of sort of denying that life is okay how it is. But when you get present like this, it's like, fuck, what's wrong? what's so bad about how things are right now? I'm sure it's got a lot to do with your own psychology, the chemistry of your brain. But I really think maybe we're not breathing enough. Maybe we're not taking deep breaths. Maybe there's so much stress from lack of breathing, feeling constricted. When you don't breathe, you ever have a stuffy nose? How does that make you feel? It makes you feel anxious. We're always caught up. We're always filling that void with something else. A new music to turn on. In the car, texting and driving is huge. Why can't you just wait to text? Well, because we gotta fill that void. The void of the driving's become so repetition, you don't even think anymore. You're on autopilot. So when you're on autopilot, what happens? Your mind drifts. And it's sometimes hard to face your thoughts. It's sometimes hard to get in to like really examine your thoughts and get at the root of your suffering. Okay, but is it really suffering? Is it suffering? I mean, you can change up a lot of the stuff unless you have deformity or you're missing a damn leg. You can lose the weight. You can learn to be social. You can learn to step up to your fears. And the best way to do that is just to get back to the basics of whenever you do something, being there when you do it. Not being somewhere else. It's the hardest thing. It's also like the gift of just being human, is to be present now. And So I feel like I almost have to sell it to you why the presence is probably the best place to be. And I have to sell it to myself in a way. I gotta encourage myself to take moments to stop, to settle down, to be quiet, to take in instead of always putting out and moving. But the more that you begin to meditate, as you sit, as you practice your deep belly breaths, you're giving. You're becoming this consciousness that's open to like everything at once. It's open to an innumerable amount of thoughts, ideas, words, patterns. Think about when you get in a nice freestyle flow. I'm sure a lot of you guys enjoy freestyling. You turn on a beat, or or your friends, you're just with your friends and you start rapping, and sometimes you completely suck. Other times you actually have a decent string of words that are congruent, that are like, the sequence actually makes sense. Other days it's just like, what the heck? That's not even a sentence. That's flow. I think flow is always there. It's waiting to be taken. Okay, it's waited for you to return there. And so I'll leave you guys just with coming back to the breath. Practice it, and soon, like I've only been doing it for a couple weeks straight. Like I've been on and off meditating a couple weeks straight. I've been really making an effort to stop during the day. If I'm caught up in thinking, if I catch myself going to my phone on the internet, I just stop. I get back to the present, and I'm just renewed. There's an abundance of energy there. There's an abundance of enlightenment as far as seeing the truth of things. What's supposed to upset you? How are you supposed to react? It's there. What are you supposed to do next? It's there. How am I supposed to operate in the world? It's right there, man. It's right there. And so you gotta learn to let go and trust. You trust that the way that things are right now, the way that you are, yeah, we're gonna keep adjusting. We're gonna keep trimming the fat and doing what we need to do. But also realizing that now it's like, what are we afraid of risking ourselves being seen? Risking ourselves talking to new people how we are now. What's the risk? We're not facing death. We have a consciousness, we have a body, the world is good, man. The world is a beautiful place at the moment. There's a lot of stuff going on too that you can decide to get caught up in or not. But don't let that distract you from, what you really have now. I think you guys don't realize how powerful you are and how much potential and just the opportunity that lies ahead for you guys. So that's going to conclude this video, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.